Hey church!
教會啊
You ready for God's word?
準備好聽神嘅話語未呢
We are in our Resow Regrow series.
我哋而家正值咧喺呢一個嘅重新撒種、重新生長嘅系列。
And I believe God wants to speak to you.
我好相信咧，神咧有說話要同你講啊。
By the way, if you don't know, my name's Richard and this is him.
咁咧，如果大家可能唔知咧，佢咧就係委日出牧師而我嘅阿
And
謙。
why don't we start with a quick prayer?
不如咧，我哋一齊咧禱告開始先好嘛？
Lord, we thank you for this time together.
神啊，好多謝你俾我哋有呢個時間一齊啊！
Speak through your word.
就係透過你話語同我哋每個人說
Touch
話，
our hearts and minds.
觸摸我哋嘅心靈同埋我哋嘅思想啊！
In Jesus' name,
奉主名求，
amen.
阿門。
Fantastic. Well, hey, if you've missed any of the previous messages, go back, look at our YouTube
Yay.
playlists and all
哇，
that.
冇錯啊。
Watch it. It's all good stuff.
如果大家咧係錯過咗咧之前嘅呢個系列嘅話咧，唔緊要喎，喺我哋嘅 YouTube 嘅頻道咧可以
Really?
有好多唔同嘅嘢去睇翻啊！
This series, it's all about sowing and reaping.
係啦，咁呢個系列咧其實關於咧我哋咧點樣去撒種啦，然後去收割喎
And。this is not just the principle for farmers.
呢個咧唔係淨係咧關於農夫先至用嘅一個理念嚟㗎嚇。
I'm not a gardener. My plants are plastic. I'll tell you a secret.
我話俾大家知呢個咧其實膠嚟嘅，我哋咧亦都唔係園丁啊 ，OK 嚇。
But this is a biblical principle.
咁咧呢個咧係一個咧
Right.
聖經裏邊嘅一個
We reap.
概念嚟㗎。
We reap what we sow.
係啦，我哋咧收割呢一啲咧我係撒種嘅
There is a
嘢，
return on what we invest.
就係咧我哋投資嘅嘢咧，我哋會得到收成㗎
And
喎嚇
today we're going to look at sowing into people.
哇！今日咧講咧我哋點樣咧係撒種咧喺人嘅身上喎嚇。
You know, what we sow into people has a lasting legacy
Yeah.
that can grow over time.
哦，咁咧我哋咧投放喺人心裏邊嘅種子咧，可以咧隨住時間咧而去成長㗎喎。
As a very young child, we used to have a pet cat in my house. You're a cat
啊
guy.
冇
You've
錯，
got a
一個
few
咧
cats.
，yeah two
Yeah.
cats，yeah 我咧有兩隻貓貓啦，咁咧我哋大家阿 Richard 牧師亦都係細個咧有養貓㗎嚇，
And I loved my cat.
好中意咧我哋嘅貓。
But sadly, one day, the cat got really old, lived a great life, and passed away.
啊，咁咧只貓咧即係因為咧係年紀老埋，所以咧跟住咧就過咗身啦。
And I remember we had a little mini funeral, our family, and we actually buried our cat in our front yard. Yes, that's what happens.
哦，
Don't do that in Hong Kong, but
冇錯，咁因為嗰陣時喺New Zealand right？
yeah, this was
OK，
in New
係啦
Zealand.
係啦，
Yeah.
喺嗰陣時咧仲喺咧
Yeah.
紐西蘭嘅時候咧，佢喺佢自屋苑嘅前面嘅花園咧就埋咗呢隻
And
貓
my dad ended up planting a small little tree, a small plant really, on top of the grave of our cat. that
咁
we
咧
love.
喺呢一個嘅埋葬咗呢一隻貓貓上邊咧就咧係有一個嘅種咗一盆栽喺度嘅。
And as we grew up there, as us as kids, me and my brother and sisters, we would see this tree growing, and it would remind us of our cat.
哇！咁咧原來咧隨住我哋年紀長大嘅時候咧，我哋啲兄弟姊妹啊就睇住呢個樹木咧慢慢茁壯成長喎。
And it's the same way when we sow into people. There is a legacy that is passed on even after we pass on. There's something wonderful left behind that shows what we sow.
哇，冇錯啦！聽到呢個貓貓嘅故事，用呢個植物咧茁壯成長，就好似我哋人咁樣。如果投放喺人嘅心裏邊嘅時候咧，就咧隨住時間，就算我哋過咗身嘅時候咧，其實呢啲人喺心裏邊嘅種子咧都會萌芽成長嘅喎。
Actually, one of our friends, let me tell you another story. One of our friends, Pastor Catherine from Tokyo.
咁咧就我講另外一個朋友嘅故事，就係我哋嘅Catherine 嘅牧師啦，喺呢個東京嘅。
She has an awesome story of her grandmother who used to go around with a pocket full of seeds and kind of just plant them around her neighborhood.
咁咧即係佢嫲嫲呢個故事咧，就係咧原來咧嫲嫲咧就成日咧裝住咧成個袋咧都係種子嚟㗎，然後周圍咧就去撒種咧喺人哋嘅花園嗰度喎。
Just these different types of flowers, beautiful flowers.
咁咧原來咧係唔同咧花嘅一啲種子嚟㗎嚇。
And her house and neighbors and around her neighborhood, you'd see these beautiful flowers growing up.
咁咧就喺佢自己嘅花園裏邊啊，人哋隔離鄰居嘅花園裏邊咧都投放呢啲種子喎，好靚嘅花嚟㗎喎。
And Catherine tells a story that one day, after her grandmother had actually passed away,
咁咧即係咧係佢講呢個故事嘅，即係有一次咧佢個嫲嫲咧 grandma 已經走咗啦 ，OK 啊。
they saw some flowers actually growing up in her own mother's house, and they were like, "Wow, we know that grandma planted these. Here.
哇！咁咧記到咧係佢媽媽嘅屋企嘅時候，原來咧grandma 咧即係嫲嫲咧即係種咗呢啲種子嘅時候咧萌芽成長喎嚇，記住咧原來佢撒過呢啲種喎。
And church, in the same way, God has given you a pocket full of seeds that you can sow throughout your throughout your lifetime, and even after we pass on, we can see the blessings, we can see the impact.
哇！我相信咧，神咧一樣咧喺我哋生命裏邊咧，都好想咧我哋咧投放喺人嘅生命裏邊啊，撒種喺人嘅生命裏邊。當我哋過身嘅時候咧，都會見到咧好多唔同嘅故事茁壯成長。
And this is an exciting way to live.
呢個咧一個非常之期待、充滿咧好多盼望嘅一個生命嚟㗎。
Investing in people.
就係咧，我哋點樣投放喺人們嘅心裏邊啊
Here's a good investment tip. Matthew 6:19.
呢度咧有個好好嘅例子咧，就係嚟自於馬太福音6章㗎。
Don't keep hoarding for yourselves earthly treasures that can be stolen by thieves. Material wealth eventually rusts, decays, and loses its value. Instead, stockpile heavenly treasures for yourselves that cannot be stolen or never rust, decay, or lose their value. For your heart will always pursue what you esteem as your treasure. 第
19節呢度講到，你哋千祈咧唔好為咗自己咧喺地上面咧積取好多財寶，因為地上面咧有蟲蛀㗎，亦都會咧係去收食 ，OK 收食，亦都會有咧呢一個嘅盜賊咧轉入嚟咧去偷竊喎。要以為咧自己咧喺天上面咧積聚財寶，因為天上咧係冇蟲蛀嘅，亦都唔會咧係受食嘅，亦都唔會咧有呢個盜賊咧轉入嚟咧去偷竊㗎。已經知道啊，我哋嘅財寶咧喺邊度咧，我哋嘅心咧亦都喺邊度喎。
What do you treasure?
哇，究竟你咧重視啲乜嘢咧
What's valuable to you? What do you invest in?
你究竟咧投資喺邊啲地方你係覺得重要嘅咧
Because this verse says the world will tell you to invest in money and more stuff, bigger house, new phone.
咁咧我咧即係喺呢個世界咧會教你咧點樣投資喺一啲咧係我哋嘅新嘅電話、大啲嘅屋企啊，再大啲嘅屋企裏邊。
There's nothing wrong with those things, but they're not going to last forever.
咁咧呢啲嘢咧唔係錯㗎，我哋投資呢啲嘢，但係咧唔會咧係永恆長存㗎。
In fact, one of the sad stories about what's happening in Ukraine is that refugees who are leaving the country with their family and everything that they own.
係咧一個咧好唔好嘅故事咧，就喺呢個嘅烏克蘭裏邊咧，好多難民咧逃離咗自己家園喎嚇。
They're taking their life savings with them, right?
咁咧佢咧就攞住咧自己咧畢生嘅積蓄
All the money that they've worked so hard for in their life.
好努力咧咁樣賺取翻嚟嘅以前。
And when they're arriving in these other countries, they can't even exchange the currency.
哇！但係咧，佢哋去到另外啲國家嘅時候咧，佢哋原來唔能夠用呢啲財寶去轉換翻咧喺當地嘅一啲嘅金錢喎。
Their life's work becomes worthless.
哇！呢個畢生嘅血汗做嘅嘢，完全咧係毀於一旦啊
！That's just going from one country to another country.
呢個咧純粹好簡單，就係一個嘅國家去到另一個國家啫喎。
What about us when we leave this earth?
哇！但係如果我哋咧離開呢個世界嘅時候，會點樣啊
？And we go to heaven, what can we take with us?
跟住我哋去到天堂嘅時候，我哋有啲咩可以帶埋一齊去咧
It's not stuff.
唔係咧，係一啲物質上面嘅嘢喎。
It's only one thing that you can invest in here, and that is people.
但只有一樣嘢咧，你可以投資喺呢一樣嘢嘅身上，就係人啊。
The impact of one life on another.
就係咧點樣生命去影響生命喎。
When you touch a human soul, hey, that soul lasts forever.
當你咧點樣觸摸呢一個人心靈裏邊咧，佢可以咧改變咧佢嘅永恆。
People are the best investment.
你要知道咧，人咧係一個最好嘅投資嘅地
They are
方。
God's treasure.
你知唔知係神咧最覺得好重要嘢嚟㗎
You are God's treasure.
你咧係神嘅財寶啊
Come on, you are God's masterpiece.
你咧係神嘅傑作
His
啊
most precious creation.
你咧係神咧最驕傲嘅一個嘅財寶嚟㗎
Maybe there's some of you that kind of question your own value. Well, hey, get that out of your head.
哇！好多人咧係話你咧，你嘅價值係點樣？但係咧，我哋完全咧要將佢拋諸腦後啊！
God is so proud of you.
神咧係好以你為驕傲㗎，你知唔知啊
And here on earth we get excited about stuff. We get excited about gold and jewelry and diamonds.
哇！我哋人咧喺呢個世界上面好中意呢啲金啊、銀啊或者鑽石啊咁樣。
And I imagine coming up to God and say, "Oh, look, I've got all this gold and diamonds and."
我記得啦，即係如果咧，我第時咧一定會，哇！神啊，你睇下我哋，哇！金銀財寶鑽石
And I can imagine God going, "Oh." oh, that's great. You realize they're just rocks.
但係咧，即係神
Right?
咧一定會咁可能咧你意識唔到，不過咧
But
呢啲係石頭嚟嘅啫喎。
let me show you my real masterpiece. Let me show you this amazing human being that I've made.
但係咧，我話俾你聽
Right?
咩先係重要啊？睇下呢一個人生命裏邊哇！呢個咧先至係我嘅傑作
Yeah,
啊！
just full of talent, full of gifting, full of unimaginable potential.
哇！你要知道啦，我創造呢樣嘢，佢俾佢有好多嘅才能，甚至咧係有無限嘅潛能嘅喎。
That's you.
呢個就係你啊！
That's you.
呢個就係你啊！
It's even me. Thank you.
呢個咧就係我啊！耶！多謝
You're
耶穌
amazing.
你係好好噶。
Come on, you are God's greatest investment.
你要知道咧，你咧係神嘅最好嘅投資嘅地方嚟
Everything
㗎。
else that we invest in here on earth, it can be good, but it just has a time limit of its usefulness.
冇錯，我哋喺地上面呢個世界上面咧，我哋投資嘅嘢咧係好好嘅，但係咧會有個時限㗎。
But a soul is eternal.
但係咧，我哋嘅心靈咧係永恆㗎。
So how do we invest in people?
咁我哋點樣咧可以投資喺人嘅生命裏邊，喺關係裏邊咧？
What can we sow?
有啲乜嘢可以投資咧？
Well, I believe we all have, just like Catherine's grandmother, we all have a pocket full of seeds.
係啦，其實咧我哋好似咧Catherine 牧師嘅嫲嫲咁樣，成個袋裏邊咧都係咧種子嚟嘅喎。
Into people's lives around us.
我哋可以咧點樣咧繼續咧就去撒種咧喺人嘅生命裏邊。
In Acts 16, we see the story of Paul and Silas on their missionary journeys throughout Europe.
冇錯，咁喺呢個嘅使徒行傳咧，見到保羅同埋西拉咧，佢點樣咧喺呢一個嘅而家嘅歐洲裏邊咧去傳揚福音
And they're going to share about Jesus to places that have never heard about Jesus.
哇！咁咧喺呢一個嘅地方咧，係完全咧未有人咧聽過耶穌嘅嚇。
And we find a story here in verse 13 of them meeting a woman named Lydia and her friends.
咁咧其實咧就呢個故事講到呢一個女仔嘅名咧就叫做利迪亞，同埋咧佢啲一班朋友啊。
It says on the Sabbath we went outside the city gate to the river where we expected to find a place of prayer. We sat down and began to speak to one of the women who had gathered there. One of those listening was a woman from the city of Good luck with that one. A woman named Lydia, a dealer in purple cloth.
Wow.
She was a worshipper of God. I'll stop there.
OK。咁咧喺呢一個嘅安息日嗰度咧，我哋咧出咗城門啊，即係保羅西拉，咁嚟到河邊嗰度去坐一坐，想揾一個地方咧可以嚟到禱告噶。咁跟住咧我就坐低咗，喺對面咧聚集咗一班咧嘅婦女們咧喺度講緊道，喺度聚集緊。咁有一個人咧就敬拜神嘅婦人咧，佢個名咧就叫做利迪亞咧，佢咧就係喺呢一個城市裏邊咧係賣呢個紫色布嘅商人嚟嘅。
So Lydia and her friends love God, but they've never heard of Jesus.
哇！咁咧呢個利迪亞同埋佢嘅一班朋友咧，佢哋喺知道神係邊個，但係佢哋未聽過耶穌。
Let's continue. It says, the Lord opened her heart to respond to Paul's message. She got saved.
哇！好
Yeah.
犀利啊！接落嚟講到咧，就係佢一直咧喺度聽咧保羅同埋西拉咧去傳揚福音喎，然後咧主咧就俾佢咧開啟咗佢嘅心，去接受咗咧保羅同西拉同佢講嘅耶穌嘅道喎。
When Lydia and the
Wow.
members of her household were then baptized, she invited us to her home. So that's amazing. She gets baptized.
Wow.
If you consider me a believer in the Lord, she said, come and stay at my house. And she
Wow.
persuaded us.
哇！咁咧，其實佢當刻咧就接受咗耶穌，佢信咗主啊。當佢咧同埋佢嘅家人同埋佢嘅朋友咧就受洗埋添，然後佢就請求咧，我哋就話啦，如果咧你判斷咧我係即係神嘅信徒嘅時候咧，就嚟我屋企咧去住下食下嘢啦。然後佢極力咧去挽留我哋。
Wow, saved and baptized.
哇！佢咧得救，
And then-
然後之後佢受洗啊。
And then she opens up her home to her friends.
然後之後咧，打開佢嘅屋企咧，就接受好多朋友啊、親戚嚟到屋企裏邊。
Let's understand a little bit more about Lydia. It says she was a trader. She traded purple cloth that was very expensive.
其實咧，你要明白咧，利迪亞做呢個生意咧，佢係賣呢個紫色嘅布咧，其實咧佢係一個咧係好貴嘅一個原材
It
料嚟
was
㗎。
like luxury goods back then, Louis Vuitton.
哇！可能好似 LV 一啲名牌咁樣喎，其實喺嗰陣時啊。
And so she has her own business, luxury goods. She's wealthy. She's got her own house.
咁咧，其實咧佢好有錢，佢係一個商人，佢係一個創業家，
Person.
有好多朋友，亦都係咧佢自己有自己
She's an
嘅
influencer in
冇
her
錯啦，佢
community.
係一個非常之有影響力嘅有自己嘅屋企啊。
And her heart opens to God, and then she opens her home to people.
當佢咧個心咧打開咗向神向耶穌嘅時候，佢亦都打開自己屋企咧去招呼好多嘅朋友。
And Paul and Silas use it as a base to start building
Wow.
a church.
其實咧佢咧就利用呢一個嘅屋企咧，就點樣咧去同阿利迪亞一齊去建立一個
And
教會喎。
this becomes the first church in Europe.
其實呢樣嘢咧就變咗咧，佢哋喺呢個歐洲裏邊咧第一間教會啊。
And that goes on to it spreads throughout her community.
Wow.
People get saved. And now we have, thousands of churches across Europe today.
就係咧，因為咧呢一個第一間教會，而家咧佢哋咧散佈咗喺其他唔同嘅地方，直到現在我哋有成千上萬嘅教會咧喺呢個歐洲裏邊啊。
I don't know how much money they had when they came, but they had a seed of the gospel.
哇！我唔知道咧，佢哋究竟帶住幾多個金錢咧去到歐洲，但係佢哋有呢個咧神耶穌嘅呢個福音嘅種子喎。
Sowing it in their lives, and it spreads all throughout Europe.
就係咧喺成個嘅歐洲裏邊咧，傳揚福音去撒種喺人哋嘅生命裏邊。
I don't know what Lydia had, but she had a home.
哇！但係我唔知道咧，利迪亞有啲乜嘢，但係佢有個屋企。
And she sowed that, she used that to invest in people, and that spreads throughout Europe.
哇！就係佢利用咧佢自己擁有嘅嘢咧，去撒種喺人哋生命裏邊。
We see them making what they have available to God. It's like, God, here's my seeds.
哇！就係佢點樣利用自己咧裝滿口袋嘅呢一個嘅種子咧，去撒種喺人哋生命裏邊。神啊，你用我啦！
Over the centuries, how many thousands and thousands and thousands of people have been impacted by those seeds sown by Paul, Silas, and Lydia.
你可以咧幻想下咧，有幾多嘅生命啊，幾多嘅屋企啊，可以俾呢一個嘅利迪亞，就係因為呢一個嘅信心嘅行為，去撒種，去影響到啊。
Sowing into people's lives.
就係點樣咧撒種喺人嘅生命裏邊。
This is why we could say that another reason why people are the best investment.
所以咧，你要知道咧點解咧，我哋投資喺人嘅生命裏邊係最好嘅一個地方嚟㗎。
If you're an investor, you know about compound interest.
咁你如果你係一個做生意嘅人，可能你會識得咧乜嘢係複利喎。
Compounding returns that multiply as time goes on.
哇！就係咧，你做嘅生意裏邊咧係一直咧係雙倍咁樣咧加上去嘅喎嚇，呢啲利潤。
Einstein, he famously said that compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. It's amazing.
喺呢一個好著名嘅人物咧，就係愛因斯坦咧，其實講過咧呢一個嘅講過呢個福利，其實咧就係世界文明咧第8大嘅文明嚟。
Then what about people?
哇！但係咧喺人係點樣咧嚇
？You sow something into a young person, and for the rest of their life, they're sowing into others and impacting people around them, and then they sow into others. It's a miracle.
哇！但係你可以諗下，如果我哋點樣咧投放喺一個年青人身上邊，然後佢點樣可以再建立自己嘅時候，再影響其他人，係一個好大嘅好嘅投資嚟㗎。
And we all have a pocket full of seeds.
而你要知道咧，我哋成個袋咧都係裝滿咧呢啲好嘅種子。
What seeds do you have in your pocket right now?
究竟你而家嘅袋裏邊咧有啲咩種子咧？
Let's talk about a few of them.
我哋一齊講下有幾類嘅種子。
The good news.
就係咧我哋嘅好消息啊！
Sharing Jesus with people around you.
就係咧我哋講緊咧點樣咧去分享咧耶穌嘅事蹟咧俾其他人。
Maybe they're going through a hard time and just sharing, hey, we can find hope in the message of Jesus and the cross.
Wow.
There is a plan that God has for your life.
可能你見到一個人好失望或者好沮喪，你可以咧帶住神嘅呢個希望嘅消息啊，或者咧係將來嘅消息咧話俾佢聽，你係咧充滿盼望同埋將來㗎。
And even if you feel a bit shy to share the gospel with someone, you can bring them to church or you can send them the online service.
哇，可能咧你覺得哇，我唔識點樣講啊，不過唔緊要啊，你邀請佢翻嚟教會或者咧去 send 一條 link 俾佢睇，呢個線上嘅教會都得㗎喎。
And I love all the stories recently of families and friends getting saved in our church.
哇！我好中意咧聽到而家最近咧好多故事咧喺我哋教會裏邊咧去得救喎。
Another seed we have is good words.
可能咧另外一個嘅種子就係咩？我哋咧講好嘅説話。
Sowing some encouragement.
我哋點樣講一啲鼓勵人嘅説話
I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today if it wasn't for some wonderful people that sowed encouragement into my life at the right time.
我幻想唔到我自己咧可以做緊而家好中意嘅嘢，係因為咧當時有人咧去繼續鼓勵我，一直咧陪伴我成長。
Come on, we can all tell our spouse, our kids, our friends, we can tell them that we love them, we can point out their gifts.
哇！我哋咧可以點樣同我哋嘅仔仔女女或者我哋身邊嘅朋友講，哇！你係好有恩賜㗎，或者你點樣咧可以投放你嘅時間喺邊一度㗎？
Another thing we can do is we can pray for people.
或者咧你可以咧點樣咧好簡單咧去為人祈禱喎。
Praying for healing, praying for God's touch.
就係點樣咧祈求咧有醫治，或者咧點樣咧可以咧有神嘅觸摸。
We can sow our time.
我哋點樣可以咧投資喺我
I
哋
think a lot of
嘅
our
時間上面？
dream teamers do this, sowing their time every week, giving a bit of time to people or to the church.
我哋點樣見到我哋嘅夢幻團咧，就係咁樣用自己嘅時間，我哋點樣投資喺人嘅生命裏邊，我哋點樣係建立教會一齊。
Sowing our talents, our gifts.
就我哋點樣咧投資喺我哋嘅才能
I
裏
think
邊喎。
our dream teamers do that as well.
我哋覺得好多嘅夢幻團隊嘅人咧，都做緊同一樣嘅嘢。
Another one would be sowing money, sowing finance.
就我哋點樣用我哋嘅金錢去祝福人，我哋投資我哋金錢喺其他人身上邊。
Offerings, we've got half for the house.
我哋有呢一個嘅奉獻啦，就係呢個生為神家啦，可能11奉獻啦。
Hey, I don't know what kind of seeds you have right now, and at different stages in your life, you will have different amounts of seed.
哇！咁其實喺你生命裏邊唔同嘅季節咧，你嘅口袋裏邊咧有唔同嘅種子，或者有唔同數量嘅種子㗎喎。
Maybe if you're a brand new mum, you probably have like no time.
係啦，可能如果你係一個
Just baby.
新手嘅媽媽，可
You
能
know?
即係你完全冇時間，但係你淨係得 BB 係嘛？
Maybe if you're a student, you feel like you have no money.
係啦，可能你係學生嘅話，我冇錢啊。
Maybe you're very busy in your career and you're feeling like you've got no time or whatever, but you've got something you can sow. It doesn't matter. It's going to change, but we've all got something.
可能你係一個生意嘅人，你可能我冇其他時間，我淨係咧可以揾錢，但係唔緊要㗎。但係我哋總有一啲嘢咧，我哋可以投放出嚟，可以撒出嚟嘅。
Just one last story from our church.
咁咧，我好想咧分享一個咧喺我哋教會嘅一個故事啊。
Recently, one of our amazing young girls, her name is Hannah,
咁咧，最近咧有個年青人咧，佢個名咧就叫做 Hannah。
just got baptized and just see her growing in church every week.
哇！咁咧，我哋見到佢啱啱咧喺我哋教會裏邊咧係受洗咗啦，然後見住佢咧每個星期都成長緊。
And at first, she was part of our Lifehouse Kids program.
咁咧，其實佢一開頭咧係接觸我哋嘅兒童嘅事工嘅嚇。
And our kids team sowed a few seeds into her life.
咁咧，我哋嘅兒童事工嘅團隊咧就投放咗一啲種子喺生命裏邊。
Then she started going to our main service, right? She was getting a bit too old for the kids program.
咁樣開始成長啦，開始咧太大啦，咁嚟到咧我哋嘅呢個崇拜裏邊。
And she connected with Katie, another great girl in the church, and Katie sowed some seeds there.
咁咧佢咧就點樣？即係同我哋嘅其中個領袖就係 Katie 咧去接觸咗，然後 Katie 咧撒啲種子喺佢生命
Joined
裏
a
邊。
connect group that was led by Jillian sowing some
冇
seeds.
錯，就加入咗咧 Jillian 嘅呢個嘅聯繫小組裏邊跟住 Jillian 咧就投放啲種子喺生命裏邊。
She was part of the youth ministry, so you were sowing some seeds.
冇錯，跟住加入咗咧呢個嘅青年嘅事工團隊之後咧，我咧又點樣撒種喺生
She
命裏
was on
邊
the
喎？
welcome team, so they were sowing some seeds.
跟住嚟到呢一個嘅歡迎嘅團隊，跟住之後咧又點樣咧撒啲種落去喎？
And maybe just about a month ago, she just got baptized.
哇！咁之後咧佢咧幾個月之後，跟住佢就咧受洗
You
啦。
know, her life has been changed because people have been sowing seeds.
哇！就係因為咧佢嘅生命改變，就係因為好多唔同嘅人係點樣集合住呢啲唔同嘅種子咧，擺放喺呢個人生命裏邊。
You got an amazing future, Hannah. We're excited for what God has for you.
哇 ，Hannah， 我哋好為到你感到驕傲，同埋咧好期待咧你嘅將來喎。
Come on, church, let's not get tired of doing what is good. It says that in Galatians 6:9.
哇！喺呢一個嘅加拉太書6章9節，我哋千祈咧唔好厭倦咧我哋所做嘅好嘅事，我哋繼續去撒種啊！
Because at just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up.
因為咧喺我哋咧唔放棄嘅時候，到咗所定嘅時候，神嘅時候咧，我哋就會有收穫噶咯。
We are committed to sowing into people.
我哋咧係繼續咧承諾咧係點樣咧投放喺人嘅
That's
生命
what we
裏邊。
treasure here at Lifehouse.
呢個咧就係我哋生命堂咧好珍貴、好
Because
珍貴重視嘅
that's what
嘢。
God treasures.
呢個係因為咧神所重視嘅
We're going
嘢。
to pray right now.
我哋而家就會一齊禱告。
And I want to pray that God will help you to sow your seed in people around you.
咁咧，我會祈求咧神咧可以俾你咧係可以咧投放嘅種子咧喺人嘅生命裏邊。
Lord, we thank you for the seeds you've put in our pockets.
神啊，好多謝你俾種子咧喺我哋嘅口袋裏邊，喺我嘅袋裏邊啊，
Use what we have.
就係咧俾我哋咧可以使用咧我哋所擁
Whether
有
that's our
嘅，
time, our talent, our finance,
無論咧我哋嘅時間、我哋才能、我哋嘅金錢，
some good words, the gospel,
可能咧係一個福音，或者咧係一啲好好嘅説話。
whatever it is, God, we want to invest in your masterpiece, your people.
我哋咧好想咧繼續投放咧喺你嘅 結作人嘅生
And
命
may
裏邊。
those seeds multiply over time.
求主咧，你使用呢一啲嘅人咧，係點樣咧？繼續咧係可以有唔同嘅增長啊，
Until we
倍增
see
啊！
a great harvest here in Hong Kong and in other places.
就我哋點樣見到咧喺呢一個嘅城市，甚至呢個世界裏邊咧係有好多好多嘅收成喺度。
Thank you for this exciting life of sowing into people.
多謝你咧，係繼續咧係好期待咧係投放你重視嘅人嘅生命裏邊
In
啊！
Jesus' name.
奉主名求。
Amen.
阿門
Come on, awesome.
Yeah， 好好啊！
Well, we're going to also pray for one other group of people here.
我好想咧為到另外一班朋友祈禱喎。
And I want to give you a chance to invite Jesus into your life, just like Lydia.
咁其實咧，我好想咧就俾一個機會，就好似咧利地亞咁樣咧接受耶穌咧嚟到佢生命裏
He
邊
loves
喎。
you,
佢咧係好愛你嘅神，
died on a cross for you, and rose again.
佢咧點樣咧喺十字架上邊為你而死，然後3天之後復活。
He did this to give you an amazing future.
佢係好想咁樣做，係因為想俾你有一個好好嘅將來喎。
So if you want to invite him into your life, let's pray together.
如果咧你想咧邀請佢入嚟你嘅生命裏邊咧，我哋一齊禱告
We
好
put
嘛
a prayer up on the screen. Let's read it in English and then in Cantonese.
咁我哋喺熒幕上面咧有一個禱文嘅喎，我哋一齊去讀出嚟啊！英文然後廣東話。
Dear Jesus, I believe in you. Thank you for forgiving me. Come into my life, and I will follow you.
親愛嘅耶穌，我相信你，多謝你原諒了我，請你進入我嘅生命，我一生跟隨你。
Amen.
非常好啊！
Amazing. Well, we're so excited at your journey with Jesus.
我哋咧好期待咧你咧同耶穌之間嘅旅程喎。
Stick around and we'll give you some information on how you can get more connected and also grow in your relationship with
哇！
God.
咁你記住咧，留意下我哋接落嚟咧點樣可以幫你咧建立呢一個同耶穌嘅旅程啊！
But church, let's keep sowing. Let's keep growing together.
冇錯，繼續咧我哋繼續撒種，繼續去
Because
成長好
God
嘛？
has great things for you.
因為我相信神咧有好好嘅嘢要俾你喎。
See you later.
下次再見。